to not, and this is middle class to wealthy. This wealth nugget is to take the time to look back at America's relationship with money. So I think it's important to look back to figure out how we got here. What happened? Did we always have a bad relationship with money? If not, where did we go wrong? What was the misstep? If I look back through history at our economy and how it's performed, America doesn't have a good relationship with money. We've had 14 recessions since the Great Depression, but it also depends on whose perspective. Recessions aren't always a bad thing, but we'll get into that. There's an interdependence within this country with the haves and the have-not. Now, they're both dependent on each other, but if you have deeper pockets, you have better positioning. You can wait a little bit longer. You can buy and sell. You have more options, more flexibility. I want to discuss the mindset, the behaviors, the results, and the feeling of both the haves and the have-not. The mindset for those who have is typically around strategy. So what's the vision? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Because I have the resources. Because for me, money is a resource to be leveraged. So are people. Part of my mindset is, where are the opportunities? What do people need? When the haves think about money, they're looking at assets. Assets generate income, investment. They want to protect their principal while indulging with their return. They're focused on ROIs, profits, cash flow, break even. They think systems and processes. For them, a recession, that's like a sale. That's when they can go shopping and get deep discount on all kinds of assets, be it business, be it real estate, stocks, bonds. They believe everything is negotiable. Nothing is impossible. And they also believe in mentorship. The have-nots, their mindset is a bit different. Money is a bit harder to come by. It's not just a resource to be leveraged. It's fuel. They use it. They don't recycle it. They don't invest it. And even if they do, it's at such a smaller scale that it's not enough to sustain them. Their mindset is more about, what is this going to cost me? And for have-nots, recession equals distress. Stress, fear around my livelihood, two different mindsets and two different games. Their behaviors are different because they think different. For the haves, it's like they're playing Monopoly. I recently was watching The Men Who Built America. Great. I watched it a couple of times actually. And watching it, one of the things that I realized is that we try to model our behavior after people who have results, right? But we try and model their behavior without having their mindset. Vanderbilt. At some point, railroad companies were failing. And so in order for the businesses not to go bankrupt, they were looking to sell all of their stocks. So they flooded the market. And when he found out about it, he bought them all up, which gave him now controlling interest over most of the railroad in the country. So where one group of folks were in a panic, he was like, this is an opportunity. And he jumped on it. So again, for them, it's like playing Monopoly. It's a game because they have the resources. They openly talk about money. They're looking to build, buy, scale, and sell business and any other asset that can produce cash flow and income. They put money and people to work for them. Remember? Their resources. Theirs are power play behavior, and they're constantly watching behavior. They're never going to give you what you need because they need you hungry. They need you coming back. For them, this game is all about protecting their bottom line. And if they have to cut expenses to do it, it's not a problem. And that includes cutting salaries, which is what makes us vulnerable to layoffs. People with wealth, if they need more money, they can sell off something. They can raise capital. They can sell shares to their company. They can sell off assets. And when they do take out loans, everything is negotiable. So yes, it costs them money, but it's never going to cost them what it costs us. They're typically lenders of money. There's big business in debt. Why? Because there is an affordability crisis in this country, a savings crisis in this country, debt crisis, and a retirement crisis. Most people are looking, because they don't make enough to make ends meet, they're supplementing their income with debt, with credit. So you'll see spikes throughout the year. Their credit card bills will go up, especially around back to school, if you have young kids, around Christmas. And then around tax time, you may see a lump sum get paid down. On the side with people with wealth, they use classism to divide, right? So historically, it was know your place, to pit people against each other, those groups of people. For the have-nots, they're typically uncomfortable with negotiating, discussing, and or asking for money. They work to earn their money. It's not a resource to be leveraged. It's not about return on investments. It is straight up fuel. Look at it this way. Money is being recycled through our communities. Why do I say it that way? Money typically comes into our community in the form of pay, but it goes right back out in the form of expenses, shopping. We're consumers. That's what we do. That's part of our behavior. We work, we consume, we save, we borrow money, and some of us pander. Look, if we're looking to raise more money, we're looking to put in overtime, we're getting a second job, or we have some type of side hustle. We're typically planning our next steps. For example, vacation. We're planning not just the trip, but now we have to put that money away. So we're not so fluid. And then there's classism. So where it was used to divide on the other side, on the have-not side, or let me call it middle class to lower income. So on that side of things, it's typically, well, at least I'm better than that group of people. All right, so results. Results for the haves, they're proactive in their movement, they're planning, they're strategizing. That's how they move. They have leverage, flexibility, and option. Working class, they're more reactive. Employment is a partial solution to a much larger problem. With all of life's responsibilities, we'll never have enough to cover life, our responsibilities, our emergencies, and all of the ups and downs. For the masses, there's an affordability issue, there's savings issues, credit. And credit, they're typically over leveraged. And then retirement, forget about it. That's an adjustment within itself for anybody. So for have-nots, they typically have a reactive lifestyle, constantly fielding emergencies, right? If and when something comes up, that's when you'll deal with it. You'll have to figure it out. So finally, feeling. The haves, how their lives are structured, they typically feel powerful. It's why they can talk down to people. Not all, but most. It's why they can let you know your position. The working class, so historically, they might have felt exploited, powerless. Now with changes with social responsibility, corporate responsibility, changes in the workforce, recent changes, I'll add, maybe not so much exploited as much, but definitely still powerless. So seeing the sides of how the different groups think about money, behave with money, their results with money, and how they feel, I'm not surprised that there is typically resentment between classes, right? So my call to action for this wealth nugget is to get a better relationship with money. Money is not a scary thing. Get close to it. Get comfortable with it. Get comfortable talking about it. Be strategic with it. And overall, build a better relationship with money. Our economy was flip-flopping up and down because a weak position on this side and then a strong position on this side doesn't balance out. You have to see where you're going. Learn as much as you possibly can about money. Get comfortable. Financial information is always available. Again, my name is Helena, and this is Middle Class to Wealth.